The city actually has an interactive map that shows FEMA flood hazard areas. I've laminated mine because I knew we were going to be out in the rain all day.
I work in agriculture. It's not well paid, but I have to work because I have to take care of my family.
Offset the cost of those Chinese tariffs by reaching out to more of their domestic buyers.
I had to ditch the hat. The hat is gone, you guys. It went down the street.
This morning when we arrived, this picnic table had bloody bandages on it. Those were removed by Parks and Rec. We come back and we find more needle caps.
I switched my setting to public while seated in our newsroom, and as you can see, my location was pinpointed within a second.
This is the Portland Police Bureau.
They're making arrests
You're
now.
ordered to disperse. It is time to leave. Walk and leave
Police
the
are now
area.
making arrests here in downtown Portland.
Al regresar le daré una probadita a esta comida rica en proteína que solo encontrará aquí en el Rodeo de Houston.
Mistina Ferry loves gardening.
5 different types of peppers: basil, oregano, cilantro.
She got her green thumb from her mother, Tina, who died while in prison at Coffee Creek Correctional Facility early last year.
We got to spend about 5 hours with my mom while she lied shackled.
Tina was serving a 6-year sentence for DUI, possession of methamphetamine, and second-degree criminal mischief after hurting someone in a car crash. 3 months after being incarcerated, Tina caught the flu, along with dozens of other women amid an outbreak at the facility.
It was one of the saddest things to walk in there and know that she couldn't even talk. She couldn't even move.
After she died, Mistina filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the Department of Corrections because no one at the prison gave her mom a flu shot. The lawsuit claims of the more than 1,600 inmates at Coffee Creek at the time of Tina's death, only 300 were vaccinated, about 20% of the population.
That's insane. To not even buy enough shots for even half the population.
The agency sent Fox 12 a statement saying it disagrees with these allegations. According to the DOC, it has forms available for inmates to request a flu shot, but they must choose to opt in. But what troubled Mistina more is how corrections officers treated her mom once she became ill.
Another person fell out with the Martian death flu.
That's what one of them wrote in a prison log Fox 12 obtained.
That seems like it was a joke to them. That was my mom. And they made her into a joke.
The DOC just settled the lawsuit for $70,000, and shortly after Tina died, a bill was introduced to change the DOC's vaccination policy so everyone would have to get a flu shot unless they opt out. A tradition dating back to the 18th century, often spent at the beach, barbecuing, or playing ball. The 4th of July is also a time to reflect on our nation's past. But how many remember it?
Can you tell me the 3 branches of government in the United States?
You know that.
You guys can pick up this one.
Legislative, executive.
And then,
Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure. I've been in school a while.
There were very few history buffs at North Portland's Broughton Beach this Independence Day.
Who was president during World War I?
Roosevelt.
Most had trouble answering common civics questions, like how many amendments have been made to the U.S. Constitution?
21.
I want to say 27.
Amendments. Man, I just started reading again.
Questions that are listed on the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services test, including the names of elected officials.
Can you name our current vice president?
Vice President? No, honestly, no. Not at the moment.
Some did better than others.
Mike Pence.
But 11-year-old Eric Navarro,
George Washington.
put them all to shame.
Who did the United States win its independence from?
D.
Great Britain. Nice.
The 5th grader passed the quiz with flying colors. But as Leonardo Zepeda points out, you don't have to be a scholar to be a patriot and to celebrate life.
Build your business from scratch. Make something out of nothing. And that's the American dream.
Liberty.
I appreciate my country.
And the pursuit of happiness. Portlanders have seen the same scene play out time and time again. Violent protests, painting a city known for its political activism as disorderly and even chaotic.
The game plan we've been using up to this point is no longer effective.
Since being elected in May of 2016, Mayor Ted Wheeler has been heavily criticized for his approach as police commissioner, sometimes simultaneously for under-policing and over-policing. After a June 29th protest that ended in the attack of a conservative writer, Portland Police Association President Daryl Turner released a public statement saying the mayor needed to, quote, remove the handcuffs from our officers and let them stop the violence through strong and swift enforcement action.
It definitely lit the powder keg. Every one of my team members was threatened by violence.
Even national figures weighed in. U.S. Senator Ted Cruz called for a federal investigation into the mayor's alleged actions, accusing him of allowing citizens to be attacked by domestic terrorists.
I thought it was a little bit beneath a United States senator. The truth is I wasn't even here. I wasn't even in the United States. I was with my family in Ecuador on a wildlife tour.
So what does happen during a protest?
One of the things that I'd like the public to know is there is a unified incident command center that's engaged during these demonstrations.
According to Mayor Wheeler, information comes in from the field and is relayed to those in command, including Police Chief Danielle Outlaw.
The incident commander's tactics are then reviewed by internal legal counsel.
Have you ever told Chief Outlaw to make an order, to give an order to the officers to stand
I
down?
have never made a tactical decision, and I most certainly did not on June 29th.
Wheeler claims his directives are the same each protest.
Enforce the law. Don't let people commit acts of violence. Don't let people shut down regional transit. Keep the city active and moving. And don't let people get onto the highways or do anything stupid.
PPB's assistant chief echoed that claim after the June 29th protest.
Enforce the law to the extent it is physically possible, prevent violence from happening in our city, prevent property damage, and allow people to exercise their First Amendment rights.
But some say too few arrests have been made and there have been even fewer convictions. For instance, only one person is facing a felony charge in the June 29th demonstration, though several were recorded committing acts of violence.
Would you call that a success in enforcement of the law?
The police have tried to identify as best as they can some of the people who were involved in those brawls.
But many were wearing masks. Chief Outlaw recently proposed an ordinance banning them at protests.
It is legal in 3 states, and it has withstood challenges in federal courts of appeals.
Mayor Wheeler says he is considering it. He also wants other bureaus, in addition to PPB, to help keep opposing groups separated during demonstrations.
In other cities, for example, the transportation bureaus and the fire bureaus, they don't necessarily provide people, but they provide resources and barriers. And we've got to stop being naive and assume that this is just some local law enforcement issue. The reality is Portland is on the national stage.